Hey, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode of Hunting Matters, brought to you by the Houston Safari Club Foundation. We've been away for a little bit during the holidays, but glad to be back and so glad that you could join us this week. This week, our guest is Jeff Garrett. Jeff is the current president of the Houston Safari Club Foundation. He served in various capacities over there with the Houston Safari Club Foundation. And most recently, before that, was our convention chair. And convention is coming up pretty quickly here in January, the 23rd to the 25th. So I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you, go to the website at wehuntwegive.org and check out the convention page on there. Sign up for the banquets. We got a lot of great raffles and auctions and entertainment planned. If you're missing it, you're going to be lost for the weekend because it's going to be one of the premier events in the Houston area that weekend. So go to wehuntwegive.org, sign up for your expo hall tickets, sign up for your banquet tickets. If you're looking for a place to find a banquet or a trip or a fur for your wife or some jewelry or even a puppy or some fantastic firearms, this is the place to be. And it's going to be out at the Woodlands Waterway Marriott and Conference Center, January 23rd through the 25th. So Jeff, how's it going today, man?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
You bet. For our listeners, tell them a little bit about what you do on your day-to-day life.
Day-to-day life. So since 1992, I've been a intellectual property counsel in-house. For the last 23 years, I've been with a large petrochemical company here in the Houston area. Most recently, though, about 4 years ago, I kind of took more of a commercial business role. The group that I was supporting as the intellectual property counsel was our international licensing group. And when the opportunity came up, they asked me if I'd like to lead the group. So I'm not officially an attorney, although I can still, there's a lot of agreement work and licensing work I still kind of can help out with, but
yeah,
kind of semi-retired from the legal side.
Yeah, but you do quite a bit of traveling, don't you?
Yeah, so it's when we out-license our technology, we're basically enabling a competitor. So it's in certain parts of the world. We're not going to do it down the street in Baytown necessarily. It'd be some parts of the world, Kazakhstan, China, India.
Yeah.
Some of the areas like that, more developing areas.
You ever drop into one of those places and go, man, I wonder what they're hunting here this week?
Well, the last year, a couple of years ago, I was in Kazakhstan. I think there's some kind of interesting hunting in Kazakhstan, maybe some ibexes or stuff like that. But I do wonder that though. Yeah. I'm already there. If I could find a good hunt, there you go.
That'd be awesome. So tell our listeners a little bit about your journey, how you got started with the Houston Safari Club Foundation, who brought you in, how were you introduced to it, kind of what stirred up your interest in becoming a member in the first place.
Yeah, well, I've known about it for a long time. I went to some of the conventions where they were down within the Galleria area.
They were down. They used to be downtown and in a couple of different areas way back when, and then they were at the George R. Brown downtown in that area.
Yeah, this was a long time ago. I went with my dad and my grandfather. We would go to the conventions years and years ago. And then I kind of got busy with work and family and so forth, and kind of got away from it a little bit. And then, and here a few years ago, I said, I'd like to get back involved. I like forward the mission statement of the club, what it stands for, the things it does for the hunting, and passing down the hunting heritage and youth education, that sort of thing. And so I got back involved. I actually just showed up at an event. I think I showed up at the event and met with you right off the bat, and started talking about ways that I could get involved.
The Houston Safari Club Foundation's Worldwide Hunting Expo and Convention is back. January 23rd to the 25th at the Woodlands Waterway Marriott. Explore worldwide hunting and fishing outfitters, gear, auctions, raffles, and banquets. $20 at the door, kids under 15, military and first responders free with ID. Learn more at wehuntwegive.org. Sponsored by Boyd's Gunstocks, Capital Farm Credit, Copandero, DEA Ranch, Dex Imaging, Genus Logistics, Gunworks Revic, and Wildlife Partners.
So you've had several roles with the organization. You've been membership chair, grants chair, convention chair. How have those different roles and positions shaped your vision for your year as president?
Boy, yeah, it's really been helpful. So starting with the membership chair, I got to really I'm not a salesman by nature by any means, but I got to kind of hone my skills into learning about the club and then selling the aspects of the club to potential new members. And the biggest one is when we have our convention, is we have our own membership booth. So I would literally spend all day, every day of the convention at the booth trying to talk to anybody I could, explaining to them about the club. I always have questions. Well, I don't go on safaris. Well, we're about hunting North America, all over the world. I'm not from the Houston area. I'm from Huntsville. Well, we're not limited to the Houston area. So we invite all hunters and sportsmen far and wide, African hunters or not. And so I found when I had a chance to talk to them, I could explain to them the breadth of our club. It wasn't as limiting as maybe they thought. And then the Grants chair was really interesting in that we saw where the money that we're 501c3s, the money we get as a nonprofit, we disperse back out to meet our missions, to help with our missions. And that is the conservation, youth hunting, preserving the hunting heritage, those sort of things. I got to see firsthand how our money was going to work in supporting the missions of the Houston Safari Club. And then lastly, the last one was kind of self-evident, right? It's being chairman of our convention, and that's just all hands on deck, working with the staff. It's kind of, it's involves probably what's the event that involves the most people of the club. There's a lot of chairpersons, be it firearms, volunteers. There's so many chairpersons. The staff is, I know you guys, Joe, are just all hands on deck leading up to that. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
Let's shift gears a little bit. What originally drew you to the outdoors and to hunting? Is it something you grew up with? Was there?
Yeah.
Yeah, your whole family hunted, or?
Yeah, and so I was fortunate. So in today's world, being the membership chairman when I was and talking to people, I think we're a more rural, more urban society. It's not as rural as much anymore. I think youth have a harder time getting access. Maybe they don't have people in their family who have that heritage as much as I did growing up. Growing up, I mean, my grandfather basically was a subsistence hunter through the Depression in those days, and my dad grew up hunting. And then as soon as I could walk, they took me hunting. I mean, I never forget getting my single shot 12 gauge shotgun and going on my first dove hunt. It was quite modest hunting. One of the interesting ones, we got near Cameron, had a relative with some property out there, and we would wait till the dove and quail seasons overlapped, and we'd go for dove, quail, squirrel, and rabbit. And that's, just beginning, hunting and then learning how to sneak up on stuff. And then we always had my dad was always good about trying to get us a hunting lease out in the hill country. Even if it was a day hunt, we would try to find a place to go hunting. That's where I really learned how to hunt. We would get leases out there, and I would sneak up on ducks, on tanks, turkey hunt, learn how to whitetail hunt. So that's how I was brought into it. I was very fortunate.
Yeah, chasing rabbit and squirrels. I did that most of my childhood in Louisiana, and I loved it. I mean, my mom would drop me off at sunup and pick me up at sundown, and that was the best way to spend my weekend.
It wasn't fancy, but we loved it. We did it all the time. It was a blast.
I'm going to ask you this because I'm going to tell you what mine is. What do you remember? Do you remember anything as a childhood when you took your first animal and brought it home and prepared it and ate it?
First animal. If it's more, yeah, it would have been the squirrel and rabbit variety, because my grandfather always liked to make squirrel stew.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could have been, if you want to call it a bird. I mean, doves were very early on.
Yeah.
And we always, nowadays I like to take my dove breast, wrap them in bacon with a jalapeno and grill it. But my grandfather loved to fry the doves and make, gravy with those. So I remember eating that all the time growing up.
Well, that's it made me think about when I was a kid. I went out with my grandfather's single shot 410 shotgun in a freak snowstorm in North Louisiana, shot a rabbit, and I was like, now what do I do? And I took it home. My mother skinned it out for breakfast, fried it, made biscuits and gravy for breakfast.
There you go.
Rabbit. And I still remember that whole experience, that whole day. So let's talk a little bit about your presidency with Houston Safari Club Foundation and your leadership role. As the president, for 2025, 2026, when you started, before you actually took office, I know you already had a vision and we're already starting to think of things of what you wanted to accomplish over the next year. What are your top priorities for the organization through your term as president?
Certainly in this day and age, there are more organizations out there than maybe we had or the club had many years ago. There's more organizations kind of spreading out even through Texas and some of the parts of the country here. I want it for us to continue to grow. I want us to have a great convention and just, you know, maintain the foundation of our club and grow it so that we can keep doing the good work that we have. I mean, it's I think with people, and our membership has been growing of late. If people give it a chance to really see what we do, um, I think they will really enjoy it. It's the networking. You know, we have monthly events. We have you know, we have pheasant shoots and clay shoots and a lot of different things that people have the opportunity to come for fun and meet new friends, like-minded individuals, learn about different hunts. If they say, you know, well, hey, I've been interested in going to Africa. What's that like? We got plenty of people in the club that can explain that to them. So just continue to grow. You know, with growth comes a bigger convention. With growth can come with more grant money to disperse out for our missions for conservation. So I guess that's the main thing is really just kind of doing that to keep promoting the growth of the club and keep seeing it succeed.
Capital Farm Credit understands that there's something about the outdoors that pulls you in. Could be the fresh air, the colors, the smells, the animals, the freedom. It's all just a part of who you are. And with our recreational land loans, you can purchase land for whatever outdoor pursuit you please. That way, the outdoors won't just be in your soul, it'll also be in your name. To learn more, visit capitalfarmcredit.com. Together, we're better.
Yeah, I gotcha. So this is going to be a soapbox moment for you because I know you and I have had this conversation, excuse me, many times. You mentioned just a minute ago that there are a lot of hunting related organizations out there. And I know that you've always had the philosophy, and you've asked me this question several times, why don't we all work together more and better, you know?
Yeah.
And
Oh
so
man.
I'd like to for you to share with our listeners, maybe representatives from other organizations, maybe other hunters out there, kind of your viewpoint on, because there's so many different organizations from Mule Deer Foundation to, you know, all these other, you know, species specific organizations, other
Hmm.
hunting and conservation organizations. Let's talk a little bit about kind of your dream case scenario for all these organizations.
Yeah. And Joe, you're right. That was probably the biggest eye-opening moment for me is the more I got involved, had some interaction with other organizations. Everybody kind of talks about getting along, but at the end of the day, kind of a lot of organizations are out for themselves. That was a little disappointing for me. I guess I look at our organization, we're not animal species specific, but you know, we have, if you look in the United States, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think the number of hunting licenses across the United States are dropping. We're losing some of our demographic, be it more urbanized, be it baby boomers aging out. Um, and you know, if your politicians listen to his constituency, if your constituency is shrinking, you may not get as much from your politicians, help from them. Just look at us that if we don't support hunting in general, not just elk, mule deer, whatever, then I think we're in danger long term of more anti-hunting people gaining footage. They do it in little insidious ways now. Right now, it can be a lead ban for domestic uh, birds versus, you know, it used to be just be dove or ducks or geese, but now, you know, it could be just for dove, you know, local dove. It can be. I was just duck hunting in Boston last year, and the outfitter said, and I had two members of my party get brand new semi-automatic shotguns. They were so excited. What, you know, Benelli's, they go up there, and he goes, "Hey, Boston just passed I don't know if it wasn't a law or some sort of mandate or I don't know, executive order by the governor that says uh, no semi-automatic shotguns for waterfowl. You had to use pump." Showed up there, you know, I hadn't used a pump in years. It was awkward. You know, it's just that constant wedging effect, if you will, that I think we can, if we bind together, we can help do our part. Now, I'm not saying we're as big as SCI. We're not going to solve all the problems of the world with our club, but we can do our part to help promote hunting, preserve the heritage for children and grandchildren. That's what worries me the most.
Yeah.
Maybe not even children, maybe as much. It's just grandchildren. At some point, you worry that the anti-hunters take hold, and there's more of them than there are us. It gets to be, you keep putting your fingers in the brakes of the dam.
Well, yeah, and that's
At what point do you run out of fingers to?
Exactly. And the other thing too, and I want to come back and talk about your waterfowl pursuits in just a little bit here, but I'm not going to skip over that. But the other thing is that, Jeff, that's alarming to me is the number of licensed hunters you see year after year that are not registered to vote. And you would think and assume that, that guy's probably conservative or middle of the road. He's probably, he's a hunter. He goes out and goes through the trouble of buying a hunting license every year. You would think that person would be registered to vote, but they're not. There's a lot of licensed hunters who are not registered to vote. Tell me what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah. And Joe, I think that's a big, thank you for reminding me of that. That's a big point of concern for me is apathy. You hear about some of the people like Shane Mahoney and some of those guys who are the big conservative conservation speakers around the country talk about it, that I think it's getting better, but we for so long said, oh, hunting, they're not going to come after hunting. It's a foundation of how we were raised in our country. Why would they come after hunting? Why would hunting be at risk? And I think what we found is that the hunting community as a whole, not us in this organization, as a whole, has gotten kind of a bad case of apathy. And I know even in my interactions, I'm the lease manager out in the hill country of a small ranch that we've had for many, many years. And we have lease hunters. And I tell them, I say, join somebody. You could join us, join Dallas or SCI. Join somebody. And they're like, you guys all handle that. Y'all got that. And, somebody else to take care of it. And I know that's a small sample size, but I wonder how prevalent that is among the hunting community at large. Somebody else is handling that.
I think you can multiply that by thousands and thousands, because when I was involved years ago with a group to work to get a constitutional amendment for the state of Texas to protect the right to hunt and fish, the first time we tried to get it through, the pushback was, we're Texas, Joe. This is just a waste of time. It's a waste of money. So it didn't go through the first session. And then the population started to change. People started coming into Texas from other countries, from other states, and that sort of thing. The next session, we got it through. But, it was actually 2 more sessions. But for almost 6 years, that apathy where we're Texas, it's people are watching our backs, but we got to watch our own backs.
Let me tell you something on that. So I was up in Saskatchewan in October hunting ducks and geese up there. I have friends that I've hunted with from Colorado and Oregon. And I was talking to my buddies from Colorado. And I said, what is it, Prop 137 or whatever that was up? I said, Jerry, of all the states with a hunting heritage, is Colorado is, you just growing up, man, everybody went to Colorado to mule deer hunt or to elk hunt, right? They were kind of the bastion representing Western hunting in the Western United States. I said, y'all did go to work to get rid of Prop 37 that was using dogs for mountain lion hunting. But then he was explaining to me, they're getting in another way now. The ammo, they literally have people driving across state lines because the state of Colorado is taxing ammo for hunting guns so high, it's worth driving to another state to buy it. So, and that's Colorado. Now, I don't disagree that Texas has probably got one of the strongest holds in the country. If hunting ever ends for Texas, it's not good. It's not a good sign for the rest of the country. But you look at Colorado, it can happen.
Yeah. Yeah. California used to be prime hunting grounds for hogs and all these other things, and people don't even associate California with hunting anymore. Although you can hunt deer and antelope and hogs and waterfowl and all these things, because it's just kind of, we don't talk about hunting in California.
Yeah. And I think the people that were trying to push Prop 137 in Colorado, they're now down in Arizona trying to do it down there. So, it's like whack-a-mole. You maybe stop at one spot, they pop up in another spot. And I think if you let that apathy set in, it's not a good outcome.
Hunting Matters is presented by Copandero Indoor Archery Pistol and Rifle Range, your premier indoor archery pistol and rifle shooting destination. Located in Oak Ridge North, right next to the Woodlands, Copandero offers two 25-yard pistol ranges, a 100-yard rifle range, and a 25-yard archery range. Whether you're honing your skills or just starting, Copandero has everything you need, including rentals, classes, a retail store, an in-house cafe, and a VIP lounge. Join Copandero today for an unmatched shooting experience. To learn more, go to copandero.com. So I guess the key takeaway that we can leave our listeners with is 2 points. First of all, get registered to vote. Second of all, get involved, whether it's with a local organization, national organization, whatever. Don't take it for granted that everybody out there is watching your back is going to protect the future of hunting, because the masses is what it's going to take to protect the future of hunting, which is, you and I would both agree, it's the greatest conservation tool there is out there. The North American model of wildlife conservation has been proven time and time again to save animals, or we wouldn't have deer and turkey in this country anymore.
Joe, that is dead on, and that's the argument I use to a lot of people that, like, well, sport hunting and trophies and this and that. It's like, hunting is what has saved a lot of species and is conserving species today. There's people who may want to appreciate the national parks and going to see a bighorn sheep in Zion Park. Those people aren't putting money in to save those sheep. It's just, it's the hunters who have put the animals. Wild Sheep Foundation, they do have a thing, take one off and take a sheep off the mountain, put another one back on. Mm-hmm. Just really the conservation is with us hunters.
Yeah, I had a guy. I was at a hunting camp. Well, it was kind of semi hunting camp, but I had a guy got in a conversation with somebody one time, and he asked her. He said, "I'm guessing you give money to the Humane Society or to PETA, because you could tell she was an animal lover, which we all love puppies and kittens.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't?" And she said, "Oh yeah, $25 a month I give them to." He said, "Ma'am," he said, "if you'll go buy a hunting license in Texas, I don't care if you ever use it or not, go buy a hunting license once a year. You'll save more animals every single day than you will by giving your money to those organizations." And he explained to her why. This is a woman who went from, "You guys are bad people," to, "You know what? I understand. I'm going to research it more." And we found out she actually went and bought a hunting license.
That's awesome.
I guess she's continuing to do it. She would never pick up a gun and hunt. But people understand that the funds from excise tax revenues from the sale of sporting goods and hunting related items and hunting, the money that comes from hunting license, that's what puts those sheep on the mountain. That's what funds the studies to find out why there's a javelina decline in the state of Texas and those sorts of things. So if you're listening out there, folks, listen, you don't have to hunt to save animals. Go buy a hunting license. I mean, it's very simple, very simple. We got to open that dialogue up with people that are not anti-hunters who are never going to change, but the non-hunting population. And we got to band together. And if you ever look back 25 years from now and you've not been registered to vote, you've not gotten involved in an organization, whether it's local, state, federal, whatever, you can point the finger at yourself. And I'm sorry to be harsh, but that's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah, I mean, and just, again, you affect who you can affect. My son and his buddies are now members of the Houston Safari Club. They bought hunts through the auctions at the convention. They're coming to some of the monthly events. And I think they get it. They've heard me enough. You got to be involved to keep the tradition going, keep the heritage, and being able to legally do it.
Yeah.
Gunworks just launched a new rifle system. It's called Index. It's sized for adventure and engineered for extremes. With barrel lengths as short as 16 inches and a folding stock that collapses to an ultra-short profile, the Gunworks Index fits nicely in a UTV, a float plane, or across the seat of your truck without sacrificing accuracy. The Index features a built-in ARCA and pick rail for use on tripod or bipod, and a night vision rail to ensure you're ready for any scenario. The Gunworks Index delivers magnum capability in the most compact chassis rifle system on the market. Visit gunworks.com to learn more.
That brings up another topic, and something I'm excited about. I know you're excited about because you were big pushing behind this. Is kind of the reinvigoration of our young professionals group, our Stag and Dove Society this year.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the demographics of our country are evident, right? I mean, in a lot of areas here in my company, we've had a huge wave of retirements with baby boomers leaving the company and retiring. I think there's a lot of that. I don't know the numbers. You may know, Joe, but if you probably looked at the number of license holders in the country, I'm imagining they favor toward the baby boomer side.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Um,
55 and older across the board.
yeah,
Easy.
it's got to be a large percentage. And if we don't get the youth involved, it's like I said, I think I said earlier, the politicians listen to their constituency. You got to have new hunters involved that carry on the tradition, that help support the organizations, that help keep the heritage and the traditions and keep the laws in our favor to keep doing it. I think it's more important than ever with the kind of the aging of our country. The youth have got to pick it up, pick up pick up the sword and keep on fighting for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm charged up because our young professionals group has done a great job of getting together on a regular basis. And so if you're listening, folks, and you want to get attached and you're in that, that 25 to 40 something, early 40s age group, we've got that out there. And the other cool thing is our women's membership in this organization
Yes.
has grown, by, I think we've gone from 11 to 14% of our membership is women in
Mm-hmm.
the past year and a half or so. And that's even just as exciting to me to find that women are getting involved in it. And as being on the board and president, that some of our most hardcore workers are the women in this organization.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. It is a very good trend that we've noticed and we've been working hard for. Is great news. Stag and Dove people, just to go back real quick, and they have great events. I mean, they had a bow fishing event. They're going on a duck hunt New Year's Eve, I think. And and they're not expensive hunts. I mean, they are finding stuff that I think that even people young in their career can afford without much pain at all. So yes, get involved with the Stag and Dove, and it's a great group of guys. Go on some hunts and have some fun.
Well, the other thing I've been excited about is yourself, as well as our treasurer for this year, and the board of directors has been really behind a big push of let's put. We do a lot for scholarships. Obviously, that's our benchmark program, youth education, um, grants at home and abroad. But two things that the board and you really wanted to focus on this year was getting more people involved. So offering more free events to people who may not be familiar with the organization, and stepping out and going, you know what, we need to do more, even more than the great work that we've done with the youth program. And that includes hiring a full-time person to manage
Yes.
the youth education program, um, having free young professionals events, having free events for members and non-members and that sort of thing. And it really, if you look at it from a broad perspective, investing back in the organization and investing into those people who are maybe not know who we are, that want to get involved or can't afford to get involved, especially if you're just starting a family or a job or that sort of thing. And so I think that's under your leadership and the board, it's been very commendable for you guys to go, you know what, we need to spend a little money on ourselves here and open the doors up, because we're not just about safari hunting at all, and not just about trophy hunting.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. We made a decision. We're going to make it as easy as we can for you. It's free. It's not $5, $10. It's free. Come out. It's been working. We've had more people come out. We're getting some new members that way. Even in this day and age, that's, free can still, bring people out. And I think that's exciting for us to see that growth. Yes, are we taking a little bit of a financial hit? Sure, we are taking a little bit, but we believe, and working with the treasurer, JD, that we believe that's reinvesting in the club by having growth and exposing more people to our mission.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Are you looking for an investment that goes beyond the ordinary? Wildlife Partners is the nation's leader in breeding and consulting for the exotic wildlife industry. When you invest in wildlife, you're not just acquiring a 100% tax-deductible asset, you're playing a vital role in the conservation of endangered species. Do you own land? You can turn your ranch into a profitable wildlife-driven business. And even if you don't own land, that's no problem. Wildlife Partners offers unique opportunities for non-landowners to invest in conservation while enjoying significant tax benefits and potential cash flow. Jeff, what role do you see Houston Safari Club Foundation playing in shaping the next generation of hunters and conservationists? Obviously, we're working with more kids, we're working with more young professionals. I mean, how do you think that as an organization we can affect more change as far as that young group goes?
Well, I mean, if we're in the Houston area, one of the biggest population areas in the country. We're in Texas. I think it's ripe hunting grounds to keep getting our name out there and exposing people. I think in today's some, not all. I mean, it's. I think there are less youth who have somebody in their life, maybe a dad or grandfather, taking them hunting. So I think if we can reach those people through Stag and Dove, through free monthly events, I think we can show them that there are avenues to hunting. It doesn't have to be a super expensive, hunt. There's a lot you can do that. We can just keep getting the word out. Like I said early on, Houston's in our name, but we're much broader than that. We're in the whole southeastern part of the state for sure. It's safari is in our name, but man, how many times I've talked to people about animals in North America, and I've only been on one safari myself. I'm a North American person on the hunting. I hope to go back some more, but I mean, we represent hunters, no matter whether you're a hog hunter, dove hunter, deer hunter, it doesn't matter. And if we can have those people come and continue to grow our club, and then have the youth come and expose them, almost be mentors to these youth. We've had some of our members who have, fortunate to have ranches, have donated youth hunts, so that these youth can get that first opportunity without spending a ton of money to go out and see what hunting is like. Not surprisingly, they all are like, "Oh yeah, this is awesome. This is fun."
Yeah, I agree with you. When you think about the future of our organization and the future of hunting, you also have to, anytime you look at the future of anything, you always have to study the past and the history of that. And we've seen a lot of changes, I think, a lot of changes and positive developments within our own organization. And having been in the corporate world and dealing with innovation and that sort of thing. How do you, how do you, how do you balance innovation as well as tradition when you're looking at changing an organization? Because I know you're leading this organization for this year. So how do you balance change and innovation but not lose tradition?
Yeah, carefully. We have founders that we much respect, the founders of our club. Without them, we would not have a club. But they did find, and most of them will admit it. We founded the club 50 years ago. We celebrated our 50-year anniversary, last year, right?
In a couple of years.
Two years ago.
Yep.
But they'll tell you that was 50 years ago. That was a different time. So you have to, if you don't change with the times, you get left behind. You have to look at today's youth, the social media. I mean, look at how much we've done on social media. I mean, we'll do a bunch of Instagram post or Facebook, whatever. Then we'll hear, well, you're not doing enough reels. I'm like, reels, And I know I came back to you guys, to you and the staff, that we need more reels. I mean, it's ever changing. And maybe some of our founding fathers aren't looking at reels that much, but a lot of potential new members are.
Well, I'm not going to call him out because I love the guy, but I actually had somebody ask what a reel was. You remember that? We were having, somebody goes, what's this Facebook thing in a reel? And I'm
What's
like,
a reel?
I get it, because you and I'll be in that position one day where somebody's going to go, "Oh yeah, the AI chip in my head wasn't working right today," and you and I are going to look at them and go, "What AI chip? What is that?"
What is that? No, and actually that was from my son. Not to just take credit for him on this, but it was at the convention last year, and he goes, "Man, Dad, y'all don't have enough reels. Y'all should have some real-time reels of the convention going on. You should have people out here on the floor saying, 'Hey, this is what's going on over here at the Woodlands Marriott. Come see us.'" And we're doing more of that now. We're doing that with our monthly events. You got to constantly be innovative as to it's a complicated world today. Back in the old days, we had our magazine. You sent the magazine and put an ad in the newspaper. It's not like that anymore. There's so many various ways to reach people. you gotta stay up with the times.
Well, now it's immediate gratification, and they want it in small bites. That's just the general theme of it. And I'm guilty of that as well. If I'm looking at a news app, I read the title and maybe the first paragraph to see if it interests me. If not, I'm on to the next thing.
Yeah, I think today's world, I say sometimes it creates a little ADD in all of us, right? I mean, it's just a constant headline society nowadays.
I agree.
Hunting Matters is presented by DEA Ranch. Are you looking for the ultimate South Texas hunting experience? Then look no further than DEA Ranch. DEA Ranch offers some of the best whitetail and exotic game hunts in South Texas year-round. Whether you're looking to fill your freezer or put that next hunting memory on the wall, their professional guides are focused on ensuring each client has a memorable and exciting hunting experience. DEA Ranch offers guided hunts, professional staff, chef-prepared meals, trophy preparation, and more. To learn more, go to dearanch.com. That's dearanch.com.
So we, as an organization, Houston Safari Club deals with advocacy. We deal with education. We deal with conservation through all the programs you've been talking about. Which of those pillars do you think needs the more attention, or is any one of them more important than the other in your mind?
It's a good question. I would they're all important. Okay. So maybe it's a plus and an A, or A minus, but they're all important. Education, I think, is probably that's the one that strikes me, is that given what's going on in the country with the anti-hunting and so forth, I think educating the general public is what's important. I think what I had here the other day is that vast majority, I mean, you kind of got the two ends. You kind of got the hunters on one, maybe 10%. You got the strong anti-hunters, the bottom 10%. No matter what you do, those are that's your 20%. Those are on each end. That leaves about 80% that are most of them are non-committal toward hunting. They're like, okay, they eat meat. They go to the grocery store and buy plenty of meat, but they're like, I understand, hunting's okay. So I think even among the hunting community, how you post pictures on the internet.
Yeah.
I have a pet peeve of mine is, certain hunting shots that they show on the internet. And I'm like, why do you have to show that? Show the hunting all the way up to the shot, then go retrieve the animal. You don't have to show the whole thing. And just really, whether how you characterize your sport, I think that is really important, Joe, to that 80%. You don't have to get them all the way to our side, but you got to have them to where they keep a favorable view of hunting, especially as being voters. I think education, to me, is that's just one of the strongholds that we have to keep improving on.
Yeah, it's like my mom used to say, I don't care if you act like an animal at home, but you better have manners when you're out in public. And unfortunately, some people in the hunting community don't have those manners. And I agree with you. I can't stand to see people sitting on animals or
yeah. I mean, nowadays, and look, I grew up, my grandfather had a deer rifle in the back of the window of his pickup truck my whole life. Everybody, I grew up in Bryan College Station. We hunted out in the hill country. Everybody had their deer, where you could see the rack out of the back end of the truck with the head or strapped to the top of a car or whatever.
Yeah, on the hood.
Yeah, on the hood. We got away from that because you're driving down the road. People were there with their kids, we got away from that. But I think there's still an opportunity on social media. Show your trophy, but show it in a very dignified way with respect of the animal that the animal deserves. And some people say, well, that sounds weird. No, I mean, you hunted the animal. You took it by fair, legal, ethical means. You were licensed. You had a license to do it. You harvested the animal to take the meat into, for the animal. It's not being wasted. Respect the animal when you put it on social media. To me, that's just the last piece of it, right?
Yeah.
All that other stuff you've done good can all go away by misshowing it on the social media.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Absolutely. I mean, treat the animal with respect. I don't wear my pajamas on the flight. You don't want to see me coming on the airplane wearing
Right.
my plaid PJs, and I don't want to see you on social media, high-fiving over an animal or whatever, whatever it is. That's
treat it with respect. I agree.
Not tasteful. I mean, even the our Native American population, they always honored, and if you're a biblical scholar, go back and look and see the treat and the care and the respect they had for even their sacrificial animals. I mean, there were specific instructions in the first three books of the Bible. There's like, this is how you do it. So I just think that people just need to have a little more respect and represent hunting in a more positive light, because hunting is positive and it's a conservation tool. And I've met some of the best people I've ever met in the world, most respectful, most successful, most kind in a hunting camp. And sometimes it's that one bad apple that everybody who's not familiar with that world goes, they're all like that.
Yep.
It's,
Agreed.
it's just not cool. Nobody wants to imagine an emergency on a hunting trip, but when the unexpected happens, you want the team of medical and security experts at Global Rescue to be there for you. Global Rescue Operations Centers are staffed by experienced personnel, and you'll always speak to an expert on the first call. Global Rescue provides unparalleled capabilities to transport members to the hospital of their choice, not just the closest. So trade what-ifs for peace of mind with convenient travel services designed for the unexpected. Learn more at globalrescue.com/hunting matters. Let's go back a little bit about the time that you were the grants chair. I know you dealt with a lot of grants that came through. We do every year.
Yeah.
Was there a specific grant that you kind of went, we're making a difference here, or was it, is there a specific memory about your time as grants chair where you kind of went?
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. I mean, the ones for the youth hunts, I particularly enjoy, because now we're trying to pass the tradition down. We've done a lot, through Texas A&M, the Borderlands research area, where they've gone out and done stuff out in West Texas, whether it be the black bear, bighorn sheep. Those are making a difference. I love waterfowl hunting. I know we've done some right here in our backyard, right here on some of the Anahuac and some of those. I don't forgot the names of them, but some of the wetland preserve areas right on the coast.
Yeah, Katy Prairie Conservancy, the Rice
Yeah, yeah,
all those. Yep.
yeah, and I think they're areas that you can't hunt on, and they not only are feeding areas for ducks, but they're for all the water birds. So I mean, you are hooping cranes and everybody, all of them, you are really helping conserve down there. And so we've done some of the grants that we did specifically for that. Really were neat, because I know they were taking that money and they were doing work there right where the birds harvest. Where the birds stay in the wintertime and feed. And
yeah, that's you bring up a great point, because sometimes I even forget about the fact that we're granting this organization money to protect this wetlands or whatever, but it's not just about animals that can be hunted or game animals. It affects a whole ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty cool when you think about it.
It is very.
So convention's coming up, January. I'm going to go ahead and shameless plug, January 23rd to the 25th, coming up in January this year. You chaired the 25 Expo and Convention.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm curious to know, because you and I've talked about some of the stuff, but what was it about chairing convention that you didn't expect before you chaired it, and what are the insights that you had from it after you chaired the convention?
I knew it was a lot of work, but I didn't realize how much. I didn't realize that the chairpersons all have to come together. There's getting the exhibitors, getting the donations, getting the firearm. It's just a lot of work getting everything put together. So the work even before the convention starts is enormous. I kind of knew that once the convention started, it was all hands on deck. That wasn't a surprise. But just having so many people have to really come together to make it come off as successful as it is, I kind of knew it, but until I saw it, I didn't have a full appreciation for it.
Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts.
It's a lot of moving parts. You got table sales for the banquets. You got placement of all this stuff. You got how what order do you put the auction items in the live auction? Which ones go live auction? Which ones go silent auction? It's so, the exhibitors, where do the exhibitors want to be placed? Well, this exhibitor wants to be here next to this one. This exhibitor doesn't want to be next. It's just it's like a gigantic optimization problem, right? To make it all fit.
And heaven forbid you get the wrong photo or a misspelling on one of the banquet presentations.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I mean, I knew it was a lot, but until you see it and witness it firsthand, it's just hard to appreciate how much work is involved.
Yeah.
But it's very rewarding. It's our biggest event, money-wise. And so a lot of our great missions we do throughout the year is dependent on a good convention.
Yeah, and we always internally we stress the importance of we've got to raise more money. The more money we raise, the more we can give away, because as a nonprofit, that's what you do.
That's right.
It's a bunch of money at several times during the year, and then you give it away all before the fiscal year ends. But
in the heart of nature, give your deer the nutrition they deserve with Record Rack Deer Feeds. The premium feeds support antler growth and overall herd health. Whether you're a wildlife enthusiast or a dedicated hunter, Record Rack Deer Feeds provide essential nutrients for a thriving herd. Choose Record Rack Deer Feeds for optimal deer nutrition. Visit recordrack.com to learn more.
the other thing that that we don't talk about, I think, a lot is how do you think that these expos and conventions, whether it's ours or somebody else's, how do you think that they can help strengthen the broader hunting community?
Well, I know we were just talking in the last board meeting about some of our marketing efforts. I think if you can get them to show up, so marketing, be it billboards, ads in magazines, flyers at businesses or whatever, the more people you can get to come to the convention, you get them exposed to the exhibitors, you get them exposed to the work we do. I think the numbers, but for sure helps with the missions and grow. I think we can also take what we do, like you were saying, we can show people that, hey, we have a convention, we got this much money, this is the work that our money is being put to use for. It's for the youth hunting, it's for, taking veterans hunting, it's for conservation, it's for supporting research out in West Texas. And I think that's really, if you can show that the connection between, hey, come to the convention and see, here's what the convention does, and here's the benefits of the convention as far as supporting our missions.
Right. And just the fellowship. I mean, it's just like a big hunting camp too, I mean, chance for minded people to get together and share stories and experiences. And that's one of my favorite things about it, to just, when I get a chance to stop and overhear people talking about, oh yeah, I hunted with that guy last year. Oh yeah, me too. And and then the phones come out and then, they're showing pictures and stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you come to the convention, come to, any of our events at the convention, look, find Joe, find me. You just speak up. We'll get you, we will make introductions and talk to you and help you, I believe you will feel welcome with the club. Now, if you come and just sit in a corner somewhere, we can't, we don't see you. You got to give a little bit of effort to come and take the opportunity to meet people. And I think you'll be very happy and very surprised how that turns out.
I agree. Are you looking for a smarter way to manage your document imaging and print environment? Dex Imaging delivers industry-leading printers, copiers, and fully managed print services designed to cut costs, boost productivity, and simplify your workflow. Whether you're a small business or a Fortune 500 company, Dex provides personalized local service with the power of a national network, so you get fast, reliable support wherever you are. Dex gives back, proudly supporting organizations like Houston Safari Club Foundation by giving through profit sharing. Dex Imaging, smarter technology, exceptional service, proven results. Visit deximaging.com or email Adam Montgomery at adam.montgomery@deximaging.com. Let's switch gears and talk about your personal hunting experiences. Now, you and your son Collin are close to completing what they call the Ultimate Waterfowlers Challenge. What is that, and what does that mean to you personally?
So that's the 41 duck and geese species of North America. You can't get those all in Texas, obviously, as you would know. I mean, the Central Flyway has a certain species of ducks. The Atlantic Flyway has it. Pacific Flyway has it. Some you have to go. The King Eiders, you basically have to go to St. Paul Island, which is the island where there's a show called The World's Deadliest Catch. I've never watched it, but that's the Trident plant. It was on the island that we hunted on, and we hunted there in January on the Bering Sea, which was quite an experience. We've gone to Boston a couple of times. We were in Saskatchewan in October. We've been to Mexico. We're about at 35 of the 41. We're starting to get to some ones that it's almost like you have to go on a hunt for a particular species now. We're getting kind of down to the nitty gritty, but we've gotten really the hard ones. The ones that people like, typically the ones that people hold to the end, we got kind of early on. So now we got to go get a ruddy duck in Florida. We got to get a couple mergansers, golden eyes up. We're going to go go to Alaska again to get a few more of those, a couple of those. So we're getting real close.
Yeah.
But it's been fun. It's really, as Collin said, it's really the fun part is going to different places, and that's really the cool part.
Yeah.
Hunting, we've been in lay-down boats off of the coast of Boston. We've been, like I said, the island of St. Paul. We've been down to Mexico. The varied experiences have been a lot of fun.
Of the species that you've obtained so far, which has been the most rewarding or the most challenging?
Well, the King Eider, they call it the ultimate waterfowlers. Prize. That one is, you got to go to St. Paul, and there's no easy way to get there. You got to go to Anchorage, spend the night, take a little flight out. That one's interesting, Joe, in that whenever I go on a hunt, I research it to the nth degree, and I read a bunch of podcasts, and they say it's a 5-day hunt. You'll be lucky if you get 1 day to actually hunt. And when you do, you better make the most of it. That's exactly what happened. We got there's 30-mile-an-hour winds. They have little Kodiak boats, and we tried to take a Kodiak boat out one day. And I remember Collin was on the front, and there was a swell. There was a gigantic swell coming in. He looked at me with big eyes, and the guy, he said, "We got to get out of here." He turned that Kodiak back and went. And so for 4 days, I think it was 3 days, total horrible conditions. You can get on shore and maybe get a couple passing birds if they came close enough to shore, but that's not very good hunting. The 4th day, it was like glass. The Bering Sea in January, the sun was shining, and it was just smooth. We got a season's worth. It's 5 each. You got a season's worth of longtails, season's worth of Harlequins, and a season's worth of King Eiders. Then the 5th day, it went all back to bad. So it's like, it really was 1 day. So that was probably the most adventurous hunt and the most rewarding to get a King Eider. Another one that's hard to get is a cinnamon teal. We got that down in Mexico a few years ago. So to finally get to see a cinnamon teal, every now and then somebody in Texas will get one. It's pretty rare. But to go down to Mexico on the Pacific coast, that was really cool.
The Bering Sea ducks, are you guys decoying those, or how do you hunt them?
So the ones in the Bering Sea, yes, it's a trail. So you got your Kodiak boat, and you just make a straight line of decoys, and they will come fly over that line of decoys.
Huh?
Yeah, but
So
it's not static. You're actually going out and kind of navigating out in the sea.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the laydown boats. If no one's ever had a chance to hunt a laydown boat, that's pretty cool. We've been out in Boston where it's a little rough, and the water level is right at the top of your boat, right? It's a laydown boat. So when you lay down, you're level with the water, and they can't see you. That can be kind of interesting. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you better not be prone to seasickness in those.
No, and then of course, we've had just tons of traditional hunts, and we were up in Canada in October, and we just first time that Collin, my son, got to see just the amount of ducks and geese coming in was just amazing.
Yeah,
up there, I got pictures. That's where they go for the winter time. For the summertime, as winter hits, they start migrating back down south, and it's just tens of thousands of birds. It's quite crazy to see.
How was hunting with your son Collin shaped y'all's relationship?
Yeah, it creates a strong connection bond, just like I kind of had with my dad and my grandfather. We go to Aggie football games and we do a lot of things, but that hunting is just, it just binds you in a way that you can't describe otherwise, right? It's just getting prepared for the hunt, talking about the hunt beforehand, doing the hunt, the memories it creates after. It's a great bonding experience.
What kind of tagging onto that? What values? Say somebody's listening and they're not a hunter. What values do you think that hunting teaches that are important beyond the field, outside of the field?
I think it teaches responsibility. First of all, you're hunting with a dangerous firearm. You got to learn responsibility and learn safety. You got to respect the laws. You got to respect laws that, in all likelihood, you're somewhere that I mean, I've been in places I know there's no game wardens. I know there's no game wardens for 100 miles, but you respect the laws. You respect, you respect the animals. So I think it teaches a lot about in those areas that you may not get somewhere else. And you can get that at a very early age. I'm sure there's a lot of youth in America that could probably use some of that, right? Who go out and do that may not have access to hunting.
Right. Yeah, and patience, a lot of patience.
And that's a good one. And patience. You got to be prepared. Yeah, that's a good point, Joe. That teaches you should not go out to hunt. Be disappointed if you don't get something. In
Right.
my experience, and I know you're this way too, you should go out to enjoy the surroundings. I always think, spring turkey hunting is one of my favorite. I love going out in the morning at dark, and you feel the woods come alive. And I'm talking about songbirds. And you see the squirrels jumping around. The woods kind of come alive. And then right at first light, you hear a gobbler gobbling off the roost. I mean, whether I get one that day or not, just the experience of that is really a neat thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not, we're not hunting to kill. We're hunting. I look at hunting for the experience. And I think
it's the experience.
As you get older and you get more mature as a hunter conservationist, that, your perspective changes. I mean, I was just like everybody else. When I was a young guy, I was like, I'm going to shoot the biggest thing in the woods,
And I was, me too. I'm not going to admit that, I wanted to get the most doves and I mean, I was that way too. I mean, I think that's just part of it, but it's kind of the maturation process. Now we got young hunters on, my son and his friends are on the lease. I let them do a lot of the harvesting. Shoot, I'll go out and look for arrowheads, look for ducks on the ponds. And my big time is the spring turkey season. So I'm kind of like we say, I'm more of the enjoying the woods.
Yeah.
Get out of this urban environment and just go relax out on the ranch.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The Houston Safari Club Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that supports the future of hunting and conservation. Wildlife and habitat conservation, youth education and outdoor experiences, scholarships, and anti-poaching efforts are just a few of the programs supported by this organization. Monthly events, an annual convention, award-winning publications, networking opportunities, and valuable resources for hunting knowledge are just a few of the benefits of being a member of Houston Safari Club Foundation. If you're searching for a group of people dedicated to protecting the future of hunting, look no further. Join Houston Safari Club Foundation today at wehuntwegive.org or call 713-623-8844.
So as we kind of wrap up today's conversation, when you look back at Houston Safari Club, let's say we're 5 or 10 years from now, and you're looking at Houston Safari Club, where it could be in 5 to 10 years. How would you think you would measure success for our organization in 5 to 10 years?
I would hope through growth. Because with growth comes the other things, comes more grant money potentially, becomes more successful events. It maybe becomes a bigger convention. So growth, I would hope that we've taken some initiatives now that we can keep carrying through, be it through stag and dove, free monthly events, whatever we need to do to keep the growth going. I'd like to see 5 or 10 years from now that our club keeps prospering in growth despite any change in demographics. Despite that maybe, some of the baby boomers are aging out and the hunters. Okay, fine. We're still in a Houston area with millions of people in Texas. We have the opportunity to keep growing and reaching out. And just really, I hope that each generation can look back and say, hey, we did everything we could to keep the tradition alive, to pass down the heritage, and to keep it, keep the ability to keep doing it.
Is that the legacy that you hope to leave behind when you finish your term as president?
Yes, I do. I mean, I looked to, my dad, he always said to me, and I didn't realize it at the time. He said, yeah, you better watch out for the anti-hunters. And there was a time, maybe this is my apathy, you didn't see as much of it back, maybe 30 years ago, 40 years ago. There's certainly it now. And so I like to think about when we're doing this stuff, I'm thinking about the kind of the legacy my dad left and my grandfather, and hopefully I can keep preserving that and hopefully pass it down to the future generations and keep it going. Will it last forever? I mean, I don't know what hunting is going to be like 100, 100, 200 years from now. Who knows? But I think we have a long runway that we can really help preserve. And I want to do my part to try to do that.
Yep. So finally, as we wrap up, what hunts or upcoming outdoor adventures do you have on your schedule for the next year that you're really excited about?
We just did the Saskatchewan. Don't have a whole lot planned. We got some duck hunts we're going to be doing. I'd like to get back out to West Texas, do a mule deer hunt. I was talking to Jose the other night, one of our speakers for a monthly event. He was talking about maybe some opportunities out there. I'd like to do. I mean, I will always be going out to my hill country lease. That's a given. I will always be doing spring turkey hunting. So those are givens.
Well, when you get ready to line up the mule deer hunt, let me know, because I hadn't shot a Texas mule deer yet.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, that's big country out there. Really big country.
Yeah, I've done a lot of aoudad hunting out there, but not mule deer. I've seen them, but I hadn't hunted them. So, well, Jeff Garrett, who is the president of the Houston Safari Club Foundation, thank you so much for taking time to join us this week.
Thank you.
We've learned a lot, and I'm sure not many people who've listened today have ever heard of the Waterfowlers Challenge that you and your son are
That's right.
close to pursuing. But folks, come out to the convention. You'll see Jeff. He'll be all over the place running around. But just stop us if you're out there, and please come visit us. But go to wehuntwegive.org, check out the website, click on the convention drop down, and be sure to sign up for a membership as well. We're going to have a fantastic time in January at our annual convention and expo. But Jeff, it's been a pleasure, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, folks, we'll see you here next time on Hunting Matters, brought to you by the Houston Safari Club Foundation. Take care and have a great week. Hunting Matters is a Houston Safari Club Foundation production. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. For questions or more information, email us at info@wehuntwegive.org.